ask Mr. Prime Minister to please protect our beliefs, our culture as well, the same that you are doing for the rest. So this is where we're coming from.
I know, and I've heard this concern many, many times, and I know that it is a very real issue. First of all, there is an awful lot of misinformation and disinformation out there. People on social media, particularly fueled by the American right wing, are spreading a lot of untruths about what's actually in the provincial curriculum. Like, the federal government doesn't control what's taught in schools. That's the provincial government that controls what's taught in schools. So that's not something that is directly on the federal government. But at the same time, the federal government is unequivocal about standing up for everyone's rights and freedoms. And the highest expression of parental rights is, of course, the safety and well-being of the child. Right? Your concern as a community is for the safety, the well-being, the strength and the protection for your children. I entirely understand that. The one thing that is really, really important in Canada is a workplace that stands up for everybody's rights. And certainly when it comes to the Muslim community, this government has, well, we were the government that pushed back against the Conservatives that made a political campaign against the niqab, that brought in a snitch line against Muslims. The Islamophobia pushed by the previous Conservative government in a whole bunch of different ways was something that we always stood against. Now, this government has been and will always be the strongest ally to all minority communities, including particularly Muslims, who have faced terrible violence. And when you look at the black Muslim women in Edmonton who are attacked, there is a run of Islamophobia we absolutely have to stand against. The issue, though, is that the Charter of Rights and Freedoms that protects your religion, that gives you the freedom of religion, that allows you to fully participate in the society, give you all protections, protects all minorities as well. And it's not a buffet. You can't pick the protections you want out of the Charter and leave aside others. Standing up for people's rights means standing up for everybody's rights. Now, if you look at the various curriculums, you'll see that there is not what is being said out there about aggressive teaching or conversion of kids to being LGBT. That is something that is being weaponized by people who are not doing it because of their interest in supporting the Muslim community. These are people on the far right who have consistently stood against Muslim rights in the Muslim community. But they are weaponizing the issue of LGBT, which is something that, yes, Islam has strong opinions on. The same way that the religious right in Canada, the Christian right, has strong opinions against as well. They're using those fears to drive a wedge between a government that will always stand up for all your rights, just like I will always stand up for the rights of LGBT kids, including if they're LGBT Muslim kids. And that standing up for everyone's rights is what you get with the Liberal government. We're going to defend your rights, even when you disagree with us defending other people's rights. And how we work to get along as a country and listen to each other and prevent people from activating baseless fears around lies and around, as you said, scaring your parents into what's actually being taught. That is hurting the fabric of respect and openness that allows Canada to be one of the places where we support and defend the Muslim community more than just about any other Western country in the world.
And we appreciate that very much, Mr. Prime Minister. But probably a perfect example is what we saw in one of the Edmonton schools, when one of the teachers, she threatened and she told those kids, you are not a Canadian and you should leave Canada because you did not participate in Pride.
And what happened to that teacher?
Whatever you want to say, just tell them how you feel.
Vanished. Nobody knows about that.
That teacher got serious consequences because that is not something that is acceptable.
The government. This is what we need the government to come out and say, we do not support that. We do not accept that.
That is our the federal government doesn't control what happens to teachers in the provincial system. But it does not represent my position or the federal government's position that people need to be
bringing Syrian to Canada.
chastised for their religious beliefs. People are free to have their religious beliefs. But within all that, we have to make sure we are standing up and defending everyone's rights within the community. And that includes the right to be who you are and to love whom you love. And that I know you feel, I know your parents' generation might have a little more uncertainty about that, and that's where this generation and your kids' generation can, show that, look, the cost or the responsibility that comes with being in a free country that stands up for everyone's rights is that we will stand up for everyone's rights, including people from the LGBT community who are facing increasing levels of violence and hatred at the same time as the Muslim community is facing increasing levels of violence and hatred, at the same time as the Asian community is facing increasing. The world is going in the wrong direction, and one thing we don't need right now is for communities that are facing hatred to start turning on each other rather than figure out how to support each other, how to listen, how to understand each other and work together. That's what Canada is. And it's not easy, and it causes clashes in cultures. But when it comes right down to it, the ability to stand up for everyone's rights is what leaves Canada the freest and the most successful country on earth.
Appreciate that.
Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Prime Minister.